Hi, in this video, I want to implement user messaging platform to collect user privacy consent for my application. I want to create this tutorial in 2 or 3 parts to show you how to implement the SDK and run it, how to create the messaging and connect to your application, and how to optimize it for better user experience. So, I'm using a project I already created in another video. If you didn't watch this video, I will put the link on the top right corner of this video. So I suggest you to go and watch it. And in this project, I implemented interstitial add to an Android Studio project, and I use Java. And we have 2 activities. And when we want to go from main activity to second activity, the full screen ad will pop up. And when we want to come back to the main activity, it's showing another full screen ad. And as you can see, I transfer the loading advertised codes to a singleton file for optimizing the internet consumption. Okay, to implement the user messaging platform, I'm following the add mob instruction. For the first step, I have to add the dependency. So I copy it. I go to the build Gradle file, to the dependencies, and I'm pasting it here. I click on it, use Alt and Enter, and I upgrade it to the last version. And again, I'm using Alt and Enter to convert it and replace it with new library catalog declaration and sync the project. The second step is having the metadata tag in the Android manifest file. As I already implemented interstitial add to this project, I copy this metadata tag in the Android manifest file between these application tags. And as you know, I'm using a sample app ID for testing the application. Now, after adding the dependency and adding metadata tag, we have to declare the consent information. So I copy these lines. I'm coming to main activity class, and I'm pasting it here. If you get a red error like this, you can simply use Alt and Enter and import the required class. Also, I don't need this final. I remove it for now. Then I have to fill up this consent information variable we just declared. So I copy this one. I go back again to main activity. This time I go to onCreate method. And here, before initializing the add, I paste it. And again, I'm using Alt and Enter to import missing class. Also here, instead of context, I'm typing this. Okay, in this method, before initializing the AddMob SDK and create an add request and loading advertise, we have to collect the user privacy consent. So we don't need this AddMob initializing codes here right before or under the consent information. So I just transfer it to another method to using it later after we collect the user privacy consent. So to create a method, I'm typing private void initialize AddMob SDK like this, and I transfer all these lines for initializing and loading advertise here inside this new method. I go back to instruction, and here we have to update the consent information. However, in this part is really explained very bad, but if you need a better hint and better head up about what you do, it's better to go to this part. And you can see, first of all, we have to create a parameters for our request. So I copy this one. I'm coming here under consent information and paste it here. Consent request parameters like this. And I would like to delete this comment, and I will set this tag for the underage user to false, and I will explain you later why it should be false. So it's very important to set it to false. Then we can request for updating our consent information. So I copy all these lines, but not this one because I already paste this one here and I already have it. So I'm coming here and paste these lines here. So for this highlight, again, Alt and Enter, import classes like this. And as you can see, we have two submethods. One of them is for getting and updating the information successfully, and one of them when updating the information is getting failed. There are also some comments here. I removed them for now. Also, I would like to rearrange the code a little bit. However, if you get highlight like this, it means you can simply clean up the code and remove unnecessary codings. So I do that. And also I will put them in one line, use Alt and Enter to rearrange the code. So this is for getting update, and here for updating failed. Like this. Okay, I go back to instruction. And here we get some information about where is the user, and also the information is obtained previously or no. And as soon as we get the information, we should check the collecting the information is required or obtained or not required or whatever. So we're using these lines to check if required to show the form and collect the information. So I paste them here after we get the information successfully. Here again we have activity, and we can simply change it with main activity dot this, like that. So I also would like to add some log here. So here I would like to add a log like this, like that D. And if you remember, we created a tag in the tag manager here. So I'm using same tag, add manager.tag, and the message gonna be updating user information failed, like this. Okay. Here, if it's required, it automatically show the form to the user, and when the user close the messaging form, the update will come here. So the first of all, we can see if we get any error or no during the process. So I'm typing if form error is not null, it means we have an error. We can simply show a log. This is my tag, and my messaging gonna be showing consent form failed, like this. And then I can show the error message. This is gonna be log, like this. And if there is no error, we can check, can we initialize the SDK or no? So it's so simple. We use this consent information. We have to create a condition if consent information dot can request add, like this. Then we can initialize our AdMob SDK like this. Also, I would like to show the status of the consent information. So I create another method. However, it's not mandatory, it's optional, but it's a good practice to do it. So I'm coming here, private void show consent status, like this. And I'm passing consent information here, and here simply I'm typing if consent information dot get consent status equival consent status dot unknown. I create a log, message gonna be consent status unknown, like that. I simply copy and paste it another 3 times, and here required gonna be required, and if not required gonna be not required, and if obtained I show the status is obtained. And here after I get the information I can simply show the status in the log. So after updating I'm coming here and I'm using this method to show consent status, and I pass consent information to that. Also I have a typo here, like this. I fix it. So show the consent status, like this. I'm using Alt and Enter to rearrange the code, and that's it. So another thing I would like to add to this initialize SDK, because we want to initialize SDK only once, and we don't want to run the AdMob initialization every time we come to the main activity or every time we rotate the device. So to do that, I'm coming to the main activity and I'm creating an atomic Boolean variable. To do that, I'm typing private final atomic Boolean, and I'm calling it is AdMob SDK initialized, and it's gonna be new atomic Boolean, and I set it to false because initially it's not initialized the SDK. So, and here I create a condition. I'm typing if is AdMob SDK initialized dot get and set the value to true. So return like this. So like this, we only run the initialization SDK once, and it's an atomic Boolean. It means even if we destroy this main activity, this atomic Boolean will stay alive and it's not closing and reinitialize every time with the main activity. Okay, let's run the app and see what we get. Okay, to see the log, I'm coming here. I'm using my tag, which is like my app. I paste it here. Okay, as you can see, it says consent status is required because I'm in Italy and I'm in Europe. So it's asking me to approve my consent. So if I click here, it's initializing the SDK, and I have to wait for loading and advertise like this. And if I click here, it's showing the advertise. I'm closing it. It go to second activity. Again, is loaded another advertise. I go back. This is another advertise, and I'm here in main activity again and loaded another advertise. And if I close this one, this app, stop it, and I clear the log, if I run the application here, already this consent is obtained, and this time should not show the message. So I run the app, and as you can see, the status is obtained and is loading advertise, and it's not showing the message again. So for this video, that's enough. In the second video, I will show you how to optimize the coding again to not load this platform, the user messaging platform, every time we rotate the application, and optimize the internet consumption for the user and faster execution of the code. And in the third video, I will go through my AdMob account and create a message and connect it to the same application to show a customized message to the user. If you like this video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe for more video. Thank you and have a good time.